So I watched Jurassic World a few months ago, and I have finally figured out my opinion on the movie. All in all, it was not a good movie, and I did not like it. There were a few reasons why, and there are a few ways that the directors could have done a better job, along with the writers. Most of the problems centered around the storyline, and I will focus on those in this movie review. Spoiler alert, I will be talking about events that happened in the movie to make my point. So, if you have not watched the movie yet, and you would like to watch it first before you watch this, now's your chance to stop the movie and go see it. But if not, if you're still watching, I'm gonna start. Jurassic World 2: Fallen Kingdom was a disappointing movie. The first reason is because it starts off on a wonky premise. The premise is that there is an organization that is trying to save the lives of dinosaurs from the island that is imploding. It is a wonky premise because throughout the series, both in the old Jurassic Park series and in this series, the premise of the movie was nature is trying to kill us. Nature is trying to kill us. We are supposed to run away from nature. And so it doesn't make sense that you feel compassion and empathy for the same monsters that were trying to kill you only a few months ago. So, and this is of course the same thing with humans. If someone attacks you on the street and then they go away, you're not going to feel empathy for them immediately after. So the idea that humans and humankind feel empathy towards these dinosaurs that always get out of their cages and that always start killing people is an incorrect assumption. And so that's a wobbly way to start the movie. But going on from there, it was all right for the first. The mission was clear and the thing to do was clear. Go to the island, rescue the dinosaurs, come back. That was crystal clear, and I enjoyed it, and there were humorful moments in that that really lightened it up, and I think the audience enjoyed it, and I definitely enjoyed those movies with those scenes with Owen and the lava. That was funny. So that was a good thing because it was simple, it was easy to understand, it was clear. But then the antagonist in the movie shifts throughout the whole movie. At first it's the volcano, then it becomes human greed, then it becomes the Indoraptor. It's very clear. It's very unclear, and it's very unsettling as well for a moviegoer when the antagonist of the film doesn't stay the same, and it wasn't done on purpose. Because you could have like there was in Iron Man 2, I believe, a puppet. And so everyone thinks that the puppet is the antagonist. But that's not what I'm talking about. In Jurassic World 2, what happened was the antagonist switched 3 times. The first, it was the volcano. The second, it was human greed. And the third was the Indoraptor. So I would have liked more consistency between all 3 of those antagonists, or I would have liked the writers to have written a storyline that weaved those 3 things together in a way that made sense. Because it didn't. The next thing that we find out, so this is after Owen and Claire, they go to the island and they rescue some dinosaurs. We find out that the reason why the dinosaurs are being rescued is not because people want to save them, it is to exploit them. The guy Eli Mills, who is sponsoring the whole thing, he wants to use the dinosaurs to sell as weapons to the highest bidder, and that's what happens in the movie. It happens at the mansion. He invites all of these arms dealers from across the world to come and buy these dinosaurs, and we find out that that is his plot. But the thing is that it is much more likely for these dinosaurs to become exotic pets than they are to become weapons. And that's because a Stegosaurus has the brain the size of a pea. You really think you can train it to do anything whatsoever? You can't even control humans or lions, let alone dinosaurs. So that premise is also pretty faulty, and it seriously weakens the whole movie. But there's a bit of the Indoraptor, which is the dinosaur that they genetically engineer in a lab rather than it being created by natural selection. That, I think, is a solution to this problem, because they actually make it into a weapon. If you take a gun and with a laser on it and you shoot the laser, then the Indoraptor will charge towards that laser when there's like a siren as well. But it's a pretty simplistic weapon if that's the case. What happens if you press the siren first? It'll go on a killing rampage. If you and there's no reason to assume that only one side or only one team can use that laser. Like if you're in a warfare zone and you have your Indoraptor beside you and you're pointing your laser at the opponent, your opponents could just as easily get their own laser gun and point it at you and then shoot the siren, and that would just take the Indoraptor and mow it through your own team. So it doesn't make sense as a weapon as well. But even if the Indoraptor is a weapon rather than a dinosaur, the fundamental plot changes as a result of that. What the original plot was the idea that we as humans, as culture, we cannot control and contain nature. But if you are starting to consider dinosaurs as weapons, and the main issue that happens in the movie is an ethical dilemma about whether or not we should be doing that, then the main narrative in the movie changes. It becomes the narrative where the hero rushes to save the big evil organization, save the world from the big evil organization. You know, so in this case, it was Claire and Owen rushed to save the world from the Lockharts and Eli from turning these dinosaurs into weapons. But even if that is the case, you need to have victims. You can't have a serial killer, for example, if he has nobody to kill. You need to have victims, and you need to know as an audience member what is at stake here and why Claire and Owen's journey is so heroic. And that's what makes it a heroic journey. You have to have victims. You have to have things on the line. And it just wasn't evident to me what that was. So the writers should either keep it a we can't contain nature narrative, or if they're going to turn it into a hero saves the world by stopping this evil organization, they need to make it clear what the cost is of the organization getting away with what they've done. The ending was by far the most unsatisfying ending I have ever watched in my entire life. And the reason for that was because it put power in it didn't end properly. How it should have ended was the dinosaurs roamed free by accident and we were all scared about that. You know, by some reason or another, all of the dinosaurs escaped into the world, and it was a consequence of human error, maybe human error from Claire or Owen, that led to all of the dinosaurs escaping. But that wasn't the case. What was the case was that humans had the choice about whether to keep dinosaurs or whether to release them into the world. And I think that was wrong. The whole point of these Jurassic World movies was to tell people that nature cannot be controlled, and dinosaurs are nature, which means dinosaurs cannot be controlled. And if you have the ability to push that button to kill all dinosaurs, that means that you are in control of dinosaurs and that you are in control over nature. You have that power, and that doesn't belong to you as a human being, which is what the whole series was trying to tell you, but they ignored that and shoved it away. And so that's why I did not like the ending where Maisie pushed the button. They could have just opened a window. Honestly, they didn't have to let them out. Something else that's a bit weird, in Jurassic Park and in the first Jurassic World, the answer to the question about whether we should open the box of genetic engineering was, we already did. Sorry about that. We can't actually control these things. Let's try and fix them and get out alive. That was the answer. But with Jurassic World 2, what that answer has now become is cloning is fine. Cloning is fine. Dinosaur cloning is fine. But genetically modified humans are not. And the reason why I think that is because at the end, the dinosaurs are released into the world, and people are fine with keeping the dinosaurs alive and not saving them from the island, which suggests to me that the dinosaurs are worth saving. But with Maisie, she's treated like this thing that needs to be contained. You can see that with Eli and Lockhart as well. They overprotect her, and it's very unfortunate the way that they treat her. But so the main problem with the movie is that it amounted to a glorified trailer, because the plot wasn't actually there. There was no proper storyline, and it kind of seemed like they used the entire 2 hours of the audience's time to set up the next film in the series. And I think that that was wrong, because they took the attention of the audience for granted, and they fundamentally changed the story, the plot line of the Jurassic World series without doing it properly. And so for those reasons, I think that Jurassic World 2 was not a good movie. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have a comment, subscribe. I will talk to you soon.